Hello and welcome to my channel. I hope you enjoy this story. I'm going to try and upload a new story each day. The Shadowed Sonata of Shanklin Theatre. Holly had always felt a magnetic pull towards the Isle of Wight. The quaint charm of the island, with its rugged cliffs and serene beaches, held an inexplicable allure for her. When she inherited her late grandmother's cottage in Shanklin, she saw it as an opportunity for a fresh start, a chance to pursue her passion for music away from the hustle and bustle of the city. But the tranquility she sought was shattered when she discovered a hidden treasure in the attic of the cottage, a grand piano covered in dust and seemingly untouched for decades. Intrigued, Holly decided to dust it off and give it a try. As her fingers danced across the keys, a haunting melody filled the room, sending shivers down her spine. Unbeknownst to Holly, the piano held a dark secret. Each note she played conjured up shadowy apparitions from her past. As the melody unfolded, memories long buried began to resurface, forcing her to confront the darkest corners of her mind. The first apparition to materialize was that of her childhood friend, Emma. They had been inseparable growing up on the island, but their bond was shattered by a tragic accident that claimed Emma's life. As Emma's ghostly figure hovered before her, Holly felt a wave of guilt wash over her. She had never forgiven herself for what happened that fateful day, and now, faced with Emma's spectral presence, she was forced to relive the pain and anguish all over again. But Emma was just the beginning. With each note she played, more apparitions emerged from the shadows, each one a painful reminder of a past she had tried so hard to forget. There was Tom, the boy she had once loved, whose betrayal had left her heart broken and shattered. And then there was her own mother, whose untimely death had left Holly feeling lost and alone in the world. As the shadows closed in around her, Holly realized that the piano was not just a musical instrument, it was a gateway to her deepest fears and regrets. Desperate to escape the torment, she tried to flee from the cottage, but the shadows followed her wherever she went, twisting and contorting into grotesque shapes that seemed to mock her every move. In a last desperate attempt to break free from the curse of the piano, Holly sought refuge in Shanklin Theatre, hoping to find solace in the sanctuary of its grand auditorium. But as she sat down at the piano and began to play, she realized with horror that the theatre itself was alive with the same dark energy that permeated the cottage. The audience seats were filled with spectral onlookers, their hollow eyes fixed on Holly as she played. And on the stage, a figure emerged from the shadows, its features twisted and distorted beyond recognition. It was the embodiment of all her fears and regrets, a grotesque caricature of her own psyche come to life. With a sinking feeling in the pit of her stomach, Holly realized that there was no escaping the Shadowed Sonata of Shanklin Theatre. The piano had become her prison, and the only way to break free was to confront the demons that lurked within its haunted keys. Summoning every ounce of courage she had left, Holly plunged into the final movement of the sonata, letting the music carry her away on a whirlwind of emotion and despair. As the last notes faded into the darkness, she felt a strange sense of peace wash over her, as if a weight had been lifted from her shoulders. Slowly, the shadows began to recede, dissipating into the ether like wisps of smoke in the wind. And as the first rays of dawn broke through the windows of the theatre, Holly knew that she had finally conquered her demons and emerged victorious from the nightmare that had consumed her. With a newfound sense of purpose, she rose from the piano bench and made her way out of the theatre, leaving the Shadowed Sonata behind her. And as she stepped out into the crisp morning air, she knew that she would never be the same again. For Holly had faced the darkest depths of her soul and emerged stronger for it, ready to embrace whatever challenges lay ahead on her journey through life. And as she looked out over the tranquil shores of the Isle of Wight, she knew that she had finally found the peace and serenity she had been searching for all along. With each step she took away from the theatre, Holly felt a weight lifting from her shoulders, a sense of liberation she hadn't known in years. The morning sunlight painted the quaint streets of Shanklin in warm hues, casting long shadows that seemed to dance with the gentle breeze. As she wandered through the town, Holly couldn't shake the feeling of relief that washed over her, like a cleansing tide erasing the remnants of her haunted past. Yet, even as she reveled in her newfound freedom, the nagging thought tugged at the corners of her mind. What had caused the piano to hold such dark power? Was it merely a cursed instrument? Or was there something more sinister lurking beneath the surface of Shanklin Theatre? Determined to uncover the truth, Holly delved into the town's history, scouring old archives and dusty libraries for clues. With each revelation, the pieces of the puzzle began to fall into place, painting a picture of betrayal and tragedy that spanned generations. She learned of the theater's enigmatic founder, a reclusive composer named Gabriel Shanklin, whose obsession with the occult led him to create the piano as a vessel for his dark experiments. Legend had it that he imbued the instrument with the souls of those who had wronged him, trapping them within its ebony and ivory keys for eternity. But as Holly dug deeper, she discovered a connection between Gabriel Shanklin and her own family lineage, a bond forged in blood that stretched back centuries. It seemed that her ancestors had been entwined with the dark secrets of the Isle of Wight since time immemorial, their fates inexorably linked to the cursed legacy of Shanklin Theatre. Armed with this newfound knowledge, Holly resolved to confront the lingering spirits of the past and put an end to the cycle of suffering once and for all. Returning to the theatre under the cover of night, she stood before the grand piano, its keys glistening in the moonlight like shards of obsidian. With a steady hand, Holly began to play, coaxing forth the haunting melody that had tormented her for so long. But this time, instead of summoning the spectres of her past, she infused the music with her own strength and resolve, channeling the power of her ancestors to break the hold of the cursed piano once and for all. As the final notes echoed through the empty theatre, a sense of calm descended upon the room, dispelling the shadows that had lingered for centuries. And in that moment, Holly knew that she had fulfilled her destiny, reclaiming her family's legacy and freeing the souls trapped within the confines of the piano. With a sense of closure that she had never known before, Holly emerged from the theatre and stepped out into the cool night air, the weight of the past lifting from her shoulders like a heavy cloak. And as she looked up at the starry sky above, she knew that she was finally free to forge her own path, unburdened by the shadows of the past. From that day forth, Holly continued to pursue her passion for music, using her talents to bring light and joy to the world around her. And though the memory of the shadowed sonata would always linger in the back of her mind, she knew that she had faced her darkest fears and emerged stronger for it, ready to embrace whatever the future held in store. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed this story. Please don't forget to like, and even better, like and subscribe. Thank you very much, and I hope you have had a great day.